Oh yeah, that's much closer than enjoying all of North Port. I mean, they did some wonderful things with the street. That's now Airbnb.
Okay. There's a lot of moving parts we haven't figured out some songs or music, so. Do you? I can't sit still for like 5 minutes.
Well, it does matter because we know that she has. We're not doing my job right now.
Just mute yourself.
It won't always be like this once everybody shuts up over there.
Hey, Mark, are you ready to get started?
I am. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, can you hear us?
Yes. Tiffany, can you hear?
It'll be good.
Allison, can you speak up?
Can I speak up?
Yes, that's better. Okay. Trying to filter through what's
Great.
internet noise versus. All right. Welcome, whether you are here, or here. This is I feel like I'm in the future right now. This is like beam me up, Scotty, Star Trek moment. We are joined by Elevate. Allison, can you say hello?
Good morning, good morning.
So this is not going to be our typical approach to meetings, but with the things that we're focusing on, that we're announcing, that we're sharing, we're going to be doing a portion of our meeting together. Isn't that right, Allison? I feel like a radio host.
That's right. So we'll have the first 40 minutes or so together and then break off separately. So legacy agents, you'll have a separate Zoom link that gets dropped into the chat. You'll click on that and go off with legacy, and the rest of our Elevate agents will stay in our existing Zoom that we're in right now.
That's right. That's right. So today is all about team and teamwork. Normally at the beginning of a meeting, we talk through our mission, vision, values, belief system, perspective as a KW family. And this time we're honing in on which one, Allison?
We're honing in on teamwork and how we are able to succeed through others. Why is that, Mark?
Because, so for those of you who weren't aware, so Jose is the OP of both Elevate and Legacy Group. And today's meeting is about the ways that we are sharing. And so today, for our kind of mission moment, our gratitude, we want to recognize Dee Dee, as well as Mike Schmieder and Erica Chelko, who have really done amazing work in helping us to figure out how we can work more closely together in ways that are going to enable us to serve all of our agents and prospective agents that much better in the coming months. Anything to add to that, Allison? All right, we lost you there. So continuing the theme of sharing, we're going to have a joint broker moment with our Rich and their Rob to talk about brokers. Come on, Rich.
Yeah, I thought Rob might go first, so I was just kind of waiting. I was like, we'll let Rob go first.
All right, I'll go first. So everyone, I'm Rob Quinn, principal broker of Elevate. So first and foremost, so July 1st, inspectors need to be licensed. As real estate agents, so when we're referring a home inspector, we need to make sure that they're licensed. So under the division website that you would use to look up a realtor's license is the exact same location that you would look up an inspector's. And we also need to make sure if we refer an inspector, it needs to be at least 3 inspectors that we refer. Those are the new rules and regulations regarding that. So I recommend the inspectors you've been working with to look them up and make sure that they're licensed before you refer them out. And then secondly, I'm sure everyone has seen Coming Soon is coming to an end. And that is September 1st. I called them this morning just to verify. They have a nice FAQ on their website if you want to look that up. If you go to put a Coming Soon in the MLS right now, it will not allow you to do it past August or August 1st. So basically July 31st is the last date that it can go. And then it will then go to active or temporarily off the market. So in my opinion, one good workaround, because I really feel the benefit of the Coming Soon was for the sellers to have a weekend in this current condition with the market, to have the showings lined up. So one option, let's just say you go live on a Wednesday, you could block off the first 2 days, and then you could just have the weekend, that's when the showings would start. So I mean, to me, that's a very good workaround. I know there's more conversation regarding marketing service agreements and that. If that's something that you're thinking about, please come and talk to me, and I'll let Rich I'm not sure, Rich's stance on that as well, but I'm not as big of a fan of the marketing service agreement, so I'd like to have those conversations if that's something you're interested in doing.
Are we allowed to put a sign up that says Coming Soon? Can you repeat that, please? Are we allowed to put up a sign that says Coming Soon?
So that would then fall under the marketing service agreement. I mean, if that's something that you're interested in doing, so we can have a conversation about that. When looking at a marketing service agreement, in my opinion, the downside of it is you don't technically have an exclusive right to sell. So if you have it coming soon, in my opinion, any agent can go and talk to that seller. So that puts you at risk of losing that potential seller. Something to think about.
Any other questions from our room here or in the Zoom, or anybody from Legacy before Rich?
It's August 1, right?
Yes, August 1st, correct.
Thank
Is there a question?
The floor is yours, Rich.
Okay. Just quickly, so I'm gonna go over money. So it sounds like Elevate has a totally different contract than what we have. And talking to Rob, they actually have in their contract where they only have 4 days to turn in earnest money, and it's written into their contract. Now, we don't have that, and the law states that you have to turn it in as quickly as possible. It's actually within a timely fashion. So I just want to cover again, you should be collecting earnest money as quickly as you possibly can and getting it turned in to the title company or the other broker, wherever it needs to go. But as the buyer's agent, you are responsible to make sure that that gets where it's supposed to go. And if you're on the listing side, verify that the buyer's agent did their job and got it to you, that you have a copy of it and it's where it's supposed to be. Between wires these days and electronic checks and things like that, credit cards, there's really not a reason why you can't get earnest money in a timely fashion. If somebody is out of state and they are moving to our state and for some reason they have to send a check, that's fine. If it takes 7 days to get here, if that's as timely as you can possibly get it, then that is well within the law. But don't put it in your car. Don't go deliver it somewhere and leave it to where you don't have control over it, because if you lose it, that's going to fall back on you. Okay. And I just want to cover too, I continually get the phone calls about, well, my seller wants to keep the earnest money. Well, that's great, but your seller doesn't get to keep the earnest money. They never had it in the first place. Now, I think, Rob, do you guys have non-refundable earnest money?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by non-refundable, or are you saying separately? I mean, they can yes, I mean, they can technically offer and have it be non-refundable. To me, it's less common. I know there was a thread in our Facebook group regarding it. I'm not necessarily the largest fan of it, but it does happen on occasion.
Okay, and I only bring that up because Bobby was going to be with us today, who is at the Medina office. he is, I believe, the manager there, broker there, associate broker. And so he was going to kind of cover that. So that's why I was asking Rob. But for now, we're not doing anything with non-refundable earnest money. It is refundable. So just remember, there's only 4 ways that earnest money is going to get dispersed in the state of Ohio. So I don't care what the story is or why your seller wants it or why they feel they're entitled to it. The first is a successful closing. That's what we'd love to see, right? Closed, earnest money gets delivered to who it's supposed to be. The seller is paid in full. The other way is a fully executed mutual release. If we don't have that, the only other 2 ways is if the buyer or seller take the other one to court and there's a court order that we have to release the earnest money. The final way is after 2 years, if we don't have one of those first 3 successful, whoever's holding the earnest money, if you're a broker, you have to return it to the party that wrote it, okay, after 2 years. So that's it. There's no extra way to get a seller any money or anything like that. So just remember that the seller is never going to end up with earnest money if they don't get a fully executed mutual release or take the buyer to court. Okay. The other thing I want to cover real quick is team names. As of July 1st, we had a lot of things happening. Team names, you are now permitted to, when you have a team name, it must have team or group in it. You can't say associate. You can't have realty. So 2 words you can't have: associates and realty in a new team name as of July 1st. If we could zoom in on Jose right now, that would be great, because I'm sure he's super, super excited that associates actually got grandfathered in, and we have to worry about everybody rebranding. And Marcy, you probably the same here. So, so remember, if you have a team name that has associates or the word realty in it before July 1st of this year, you're fine, you're grandfathered in. But moving forward, if you create a team name, it must include group or team. Okay. And that's all I've got. Oh, there's Jose. How excited are you?
Grandfather, right? So just to intro, I'm going to talk a little bit about why we are meeting all together and kind of from a direction of the market center standpoint. Aaron, good to see you, man. So Jose, the floor is yours.
Cool. All right, it's great to see everyone. So yeah, we wanted to do this. We want to do this meeting to just kind of highlight and just expose everyone to the 2 market centers. And although we have different leadership and we have different different TLs and brokers and stuff, we really are kind of under one bigger umbrella and one vision. And simply the vision that I have as the OP. If anybody knows me personally, they know how competitive I am. I mean, my vision for the market centers is really twofold. It's one is we really want to be the most agent-centric real estate brokerage out there, right? In Northeastern Ohio, we want to. That's how we want to operate as a leadership team. We want to do make our decisions based on how is this helping our agents and how is this helping them further their career, live a better life, leave a better legacy, those type of things. And then the competitive side of me also says, we want to be number 1 in each area in not only agent count, but in volume and in sides, the amount of transaction sides. So as we continue to develop our market center and as we continue to develop new resources last year when we were able to bring on Ann, who's a transaction coordinator and really is there for our agents to leverage their time, right? And not get caught in the paperwork of things and in the secretarial things of selling real estate. And so that's been a huge benefit to a lot of our agents. And she's a service that kind of transcends one market center. She helps elevate and legacy. As we continue to roll out new things, we really wanted to have our staff be very specialized in what they are doing. And so if you think through a job task list, right? And if you're going out to hire someone and you put 20 items, 25 items on a job profile, right? And that person's responsible for a lot. And so what I would say is that person's going wide with responsibilities. When we were hiring and we were looking at what we need for our agents, we said, instead of going wide, let's go deep. Let's go deep with talent. Let's make sure that these people that we have are really focused in on one thing and really good at that. And so they're going deep in the two responsibilities that they're going to be doing. So I think Dee Dee and Erica will introduce our new staff members and what exactly they'll be doing and how they're going to be serving our agents. But the point of this is for our staff to be really focused in on one thing and do it really well across both market centers and be a benefit to our agents with both market centers. So I think that's really it for me. I'll hand it over to Dee Dee and Erica to kind of explain and highlight our new staff team members.
Thanks, Jose.
First.
Yes, why don't
I'm
you?
going first.
Yeah, take the floor.
I got it, Erica. Hi, everybody. So for inside our office, we will have Caitlin Shepard, who will be working out of our office primarily. She is coming in as marketing and events coordinator. Basically what that means is she's going to really, hi Erin, it's been so long, I'm sorry. I got so excited there for a second. She will be taking care of our training calendar, really working to make a really dynamic training calendar to fit all of our agents at both market centers. And so I'm just going to introduce her and let her talk a little bit about herself because she does a great job at that. So come on up.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Try not to get blinded here. I'm Caitlin Shepard. I will be based out of the Canton office as Dee Dee said, the marketing and events coordinator. So I appreciate all of you who have already reached out to me. If you have, especially ALC committees, if you have a specific training that you want to see put on the calendar, send those my way and I will put those on the calendar. A little bit about me personally and professionally. Before here, I worked at Starbucks as a store manager, so I recognize some of you. I came from Starbucks, was there for about 9 years. I'm really excited to be here. I really believe in the mission and values of Keller Williams, and I'm really impressed so far by the leadership. Elevate, this goes to you as well. Feel free to reach out to me. I will be up in the Strongsville area about 2 times a month, and I'll be working as a shared service for all the agents. So I look forward to getting to know each of you on a deeper level. So thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna have Lynn come on up, join us. Okay. So I'd like to introduce Lynn Scott. Lynn is going to be our Market Center tech trainer for both offices. She comes to us with a history of training and education when it comes to copiers, and we're so excited to have her. I will let her tell you a little bit more about herself.
Yes, I'm aware of all the Mac issues with the copiers. I know it's been an ongoing fun time. I do have new respect for all real estate agents after going through some of the technology you have to learn and the amount that you have to learn. So that's what I've been doing recently, is trying to tackle all of that and get a good understanding of, how to help you guys better. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing on both sides, and then getting some training classes to help make everyone a little more productive.
Okay. I'm very glad to have you. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Welcome. So for those of you who don't know Ann Cusley, Jose mentioned a little bit about her earlier, and then we'll let her kind of explain her services.
Hi, everyone. So it's understood that most agents love real estate. Would you agree?
Yeah.
How many of you love chasing paperwork? Not so much? Well, that's where I come in. And my responsibility as transaction coordinator is to ensure that your transaction goes smoothly from the time you're in contract to the time we close. So if you don't enjoy those repetitive tasks of following up with the co-broks, following up with the lenders, following up with the title companies, I'm your gal. So a lot of people ask me, well, what can I expect, Ann? What kind of things are you going to be able to offer? So what I do is I actually have a little checklist. And to give you an overview of my services, I verify that all the docs are signed. And I make sure that we don't have a lot of duplicates. So one of the first things I do is look at the file and clean it up for you. Review for compliance, send intro emails to all the stakeholders in the transaction. When we're working with the buyer, I like to send them a next steps email, just to give them a timeline and maybe set some expectations. Make sure earnest money has been, received and confirmed. Work with you to coordinate home inspections, confirm the repairs. I chase down all the invoices and make sure that we're working together to obtain the ROC. And then a lot of follow-up with lenders. Every Friday, I have a weekly ritual where I call the lenders, email them. I contact them every which way except smoke signals. So that we get some kind of response of, is the file? One of the biggest thing is confirming the appraisal has been ordered. And then weekly updates to all the transaction stakeholders. And if you like, I'll even do a handwritten thank you note. So some agents have provided me their cards and some thank you notes. I'm glad to handwrite a little note if that's the way you would like to finish the transaction with your client. Very easy to get started. My service is $225 for the transaction. And I have a very special offer today. For the next 3 agents, new agents, those that are not working with me currently, for the next 3 agents that call me by Friday, I will give you your first transaction free. So let's get acquainted. Let's see if the chemistry's right. And if it is, then we'll move forward and work together again and again. Anybody have questions?
Ring, ring.
Ring, ring.
Calling you.
You've been on my radar for a while, Marie. Please do. And if you just want to call and get acquainted, just to see if it's the right fit, I welcome your call.
I have a question, like when you confirm that appraisals are ordered and you send the buyer next step, do we get a copy of that or do you just send us know that it's been done? How's it work?
I over communicate, Cindy.
Okay.
That's one of my flaws, if you will. I'm going to make sure that you're going to be copied in everything I do.
Thank you.
And I would ask that of you as well. There are many times where the transaction stakeholders forget there's a TC on the file. So what I really appreciate is when my agent will see that I'm not included in the CC and they'll forward that email to me. That's a real partnership. That's a true partnership. So that way everybody's aware of what's happening and we all appear as though we're on the same team. And that's really what we're trying to represent ourselves as everyone working on the same team. So who are my next 3 agents that are going to give me a call?
Well, you can't even see the legacy group.
I got some takers. All right. You can easily reach me by phone.
Mike put your information in the chat.
Wonderful. Very good.
All right.
All right. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you, Ann. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move into the next portion here. This is kind of the meat of our meeting today, and we're gonna do real estate theater. So when you're out and about on your appointments, you might have your go-to way to handle objections and handle a situation with a buyer or a seller. And sometimes it's nice to hear what other people have to say. So we're gonna break up in 2 market centers here. Legacy, they're gonna start first, and we're gonna be looking in on a scene with a buyer. And Mark, if you wanna give some more insight into that, go ahead and give your portion of the narration there.
Can you hear me? Can you give me a confirmation that you can hear me before we get rolling? Yes? All right, thank you, Rachel. So we're gonna start with buyer side. thank the lovely Sam, Amanda, and Mercedes for helping us out here, and then we're gonna hop back over to them for the listing side. Scene 1. Buyer Amanda is sitting down with her agent Sam to begin her home search process. Mercedes is here to help.
All right, so Sam, I'm seeing all these houses in Jackson and I really like them. I just don't know if I can afford it. My hours got cut at work and I know I'm pre-approved, but I've seen some houses that are gonna be outside of my pre-approval. So I really would love for you to go ahead and schedule those on Saturday.
Amanda, my goal as your agent is to be honest and to set you up for realistic expectations. I'm willing to show you a home that's a little bit outside of your pre-approval, but if you are interested and want to write an offer, unless you come up with extra funds, we wouldn't be able to do that. Is that something that you're willing to try?
I mean, I would loosen up a little bit. How is she supposed to know if she hasn't seen it?
Like I said, we can definitely go see it, but it's my job as your agent to be honest with you. And if you don't have the funds to write the offer and get that accepted, then I'm not doing my due diligence for you.
I mean, I understand that. I think I would still like the opportunity to see the homes and maybe I can make it work somehow with the finances.
Let's do it.
Maybe somehow. That was
Maybe.
super solid.
Side hustle.
Scene 2. Buyer Mercedes is a military veteran. Thank you for your service. But has heard that VA loans just aren't getting accepted in this, quote, crazy hot market. Her agent Amanda is seeking to provide wise counsel while Sam, her friend, is doing her best to help.
Honestly, I am super thankful for the VA benefits, but I hear in this market that only cash offers are being accepted and over asking price, and it's really making me want to stop my search.
Mercedes, there's no way that you're going to get an offer accepted. You have a VA loan. Just wait till the market crashes and then you'll get a good deal.
Okay. Well, I appreciate your insight. However, there's a lot of programs out there right now for VA buyers. And I actually had 2 just this last month that they went up against multiple offers and they ended up winning. So I wouldn't lose hope. I think I would keep the search going.
Good luck.
No. Notice how Amanda's body language, she just cut Sam out of the date altogether. All right, and finally, scene 3. Buyer Sam has found the one and is meeting with agent Mercedes to put together the offer. She's wondering how she can win in this crazy hot market.
Mercedes, I found a house that I love, but I don't know how we're going to write an offer to get it accepted.
All right, so in this crazy market, there are some pillars, I would say, that make for a strong offer. You have price, you have your type of financing, you have your appraisal gaps, you have flexibility on occupancy, and you have flexibility on or waiver of inspections.
I don't know that I would be willing to waive inspections. That seems really scary and it makes me really nervous.
Sam, my dad does a lot with home repairs. I mean, I would just waive the inspections, go ahead and get yourself into the house, and then my dad can fix whatever comes up.
What if there's something majorly wrong? I don't know that he'd be able to fix that.
I mean, I think he could.
So I never recommend going without inspections, but I will tell you it will make for a stronger offer in this market, but there are a lot of risks that are associated with waiving your inspections. You could have a money pit in your hands. If something were to fail after you close, then you have to worry about the price of all that. Now, you could get away with worrying about that if you did ask for a home warranty, which would cover any things that would fail after closing.
Okay, I mean, I might be willing to take that risk. I'm still not very comfortable with it.
It does make for the stronger offer though.
If I get a money pit, I'm calling you.
All right, let's give it up for these ladies. And just one note, I know that the inspections, I'm not the broker, Rich, you can chime in if you want. We don't encourage it, and we know that it's a common thing in this market. And so just so long as we're being very thoughtful to make sure that people understand the risks associated with it and the various things they can do. Corinne made a note in the chat that you can do information only inspections as well. But I would encourage you, if there's a narrative in your mind that an inspection, offer including an inspection just won't get accepted, that's just not true. There are plenty of good offers, and I would use that as the last thing to pull away. Make a strong price, consider other moves before, because there's just a lot of risks associated with that. That's my PC comment.
All right, thanks, Mark. So we're gonna have these are 3 ALC members. So we've got Maureen, Troy, and Justin. So Maureen and Troy are married. They're a couple. They want to sell their house. And Justin's got in, they're a FINCO right now. So Justin's is coming in and they're gonna throw some objections at him to see if he can get the listing.
Well, I really appreciate you taking me through the home. You've really done a lot of great updates over the past 10 years.
I told you it was worth it. I told you.
So
Maybe spend the money on it.
well, let's talk about the money that you spent and what we think it's worth. Can we agree that your home is going to be worth somewhere between probably 300 and 325?
I mean, I'd love to get 400.
I would too, I think that's fair. Don't you think that's fair? Between 300 and 325, we get multiple offers. It could just go up from there.
It could. Can we agree on 325?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey guys, we're getting some feedback. Can you speak a little louder?
Yeah.
Sure. Maureen, you really opened the door for a great conversation here about how do we get into a multiple offer, right?
Right.
So let's start by me asking you, what questions do you have for me? And then we'll take the conversation from there.
Well, you know, we want to sell it ourselves because I think we could make a lot more money that way. But
Bob and Sally did that.
right down the street,
Yeah,
they got, oh, it's so
we
good.
got a ton of business too.
Yeah.
Did they have quite a few showings?
What they told us, they did.
Okay.
They had some people flake off, you know, some people schedule and I know she was super annoyed that people, would schedule something and then not show up.
Sure.
So that was.
Well, I'm not going to tell you that a home could not sell in this market without professional representation. However, you're talking about going into a multiple offer situation. Is that correct?
Hopefully,
Okay.
right?
And how do we do that? We do that by getting the most number of buyer units in your home in the shortest amount of time.
Right.
Okay. So, I'm sure they use Zillow to market the property. I'm sure they use the yard sign. One of the best reasons to market your home with a professional and have representation is that you have access to almost 14,000 realtors in the multiple listing service in Northeast Ohio. That is just a stretch that no other website can provide you. Okay. So of those 14,000 licensees in our multiple listing service, they've got buyers on searches. So the minute your home goes into the multiple listing service, anybody that's looking between 300, let's say 350 or 275 and 325, your home's going to pop up. So that is exposure that you can't compete with because you can't proactively reach out to that many people at one time,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
But I also respect the fact that you've got a commodity here. There isn't much for sale in the neighborhood. You think that, and I agree that you've got something worth value. So that's when we're going to talk about pricing and talk about how do we get the most number of people in here as we can.
Okay, good.
So, next question.
So how much are you charging?
Well, what do you think the fee would be?
Well, we've never done this before, so I don't know. What do people, it's been 30 years since we've sold a house.
Yeah.
I think you'd be surprised to know.
30 years.
So you're going to sell, you're thinking of selling your home for sale by representing yourself.
Right.
Would you pay a buyer's agent if they came in?
If somebody brought somebody to us, maybe what, $1,000? I mean, that's a lot of money.
So the average buyer's agent, if they bring a home, they procure a buyer and come through your home, they're going to ask anywhere between 2 and 3% for compensation. Okay. And I think you'd be surprised to find that in your price range, you could receive full representation and pay the cooperating buyer for about 5.75%. So you're already going to be paid, their expectation is to already be paid almost 3%. You're doing all the work, you have all the responsibility, and all they've done is bring a buyer. So I'm not saying that your perception is wrong. But the reality is that anyone that brings a buyer through your door, unless it's your neighbor, is going to expect fair compensation. And in our market, so any questions about that?
No, that can make sense, right?
It makes sense. I mean, it's a seller's market, so like we might have a little bit more control over what that percentage is.
Well, and let's talk about, to your point, multiple offers, right? In our experience, if we are able to correctly market a property, we should, as your representation, more than compensate, more than cover any brokerage fee attached to your property.
Right. I
Okay.
agree with that.
So we have sold, in the last 6 months, 21 out of 25 of our listings have sold over 100% of list to sale price, going all the way up to 118%.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
Our average market time, including home inspection periods, is 22 days on market, and we've sold them in as few as the first day on market.
I love that. I want that one.
You want that
Yeah,
one?
I want, yeah. Can you do that? Can we write that in?
This is a requirement, otherwise we can cut back on the commission.
So if I sell it day one, I can charge you what, 8%?
Hey, no.
Okay, any other questions about timing or going into the MLS compensation, how that works?
I think your biggest concern is where we're going next.
Because honestly, we were so excited. We want to jump in on this market because everybody's making millions and we want to be one of those. But really, we don't really know where we're going. So we had some ideas, but we're not sure where we're going. If we sold fast, when we sell in one day, we need to have a plan.
And you're right, that is a struggle for sellers in the market today.
Yeah.
There's so many buyers out there that are looking, and that actually works to your advantage. As a seller, for the most part, you get to be in the driver's seat, and you get to structure the offer that you choose to accept. So if we market the home correctly, position it correctly in the market, we should be having a conversation 72 hours after we go live, and we should be looking at a variety of offers. Some of them could be cash, conventional, perhaps an FHA or VA offer. And then what happens is we will look at all of those offers and structure our response to those offers to be in your best interest. And a big portion of that could be timing. So when we position the home on the market, we have a couple options. We can put in broker remarks or in a conversation between myself and the cooperating broker that this sale is subject to a specific purchase. It means that we will find a buyer, we will come to terms, but our dates will be to be determined. And then we're going to ask for a specified amount of time for you guys to find your next home.
Will people agree to that?
They absolutely will if they want your home bad enough, especially if they're in competition.
Yeah.
It's very hard to get exactly what you want when you have one person vying for your home. Okay. So if we can get 4, 6, 8 people looking for wanting your home after a variety of showings, we can say to things that we can either say to them, look, you need to give us 14 days to find a home, or we'll close in 30 days, we'll close in 45 days. We want to rent back from you for a period of up to 90 days. It's a very common request, especially today as new construction is a very popular option. New construction dates are being delayed, move-in dates are being delayed. So if a buyer wants your home and wants to be competitive in this market, they're going to make the dates work one way or the other.
How far out do people end up doing rent backs or whatever that word was?
Well, that's a great question, Troy, because at the end of the day, you may have to have a plan B, right? So it's July, we go on the market, and let's say we do a delayed closing into September. Could we get a 90-day rent back? Sure. Could we get 120? Sure. Have I seen up to 6 months? It's possible. But we also have to think about the buyer that's purchasing your home. What is their schedule look like? Do they need to be in by the holidays? Are they competing with the school schedule? So part of my job and part of that compensation that you're willing to provide a brokerage is my ability to tailor an offer and a counter offer that best suits your needs. So maybe you want 325, but might it be worth 321 if you can rent back for 6 months because you don't know where you're going?
He really knows what he's talking about.
Don't sell the house.
He really knows.
All right, so what else do we have to do in order to get moving forward on this?
So our next steps will be to bring our stager in and make sure, your home is beautiful, there's not much that needs to be done, but we will bring in our professional photographer, exterior drone, aerial photography. We need this home to attract as many people as possible, and the way to do that is to market it correctly in our pre-marketing period.
What's that cost us?
Absolutely nothing, it's part of the brokerage fee. So you do not pay anything until your home sells and transfers. That's when the fee is paid directly to the brokerage.
What was that?
Your fee is, they couldn't hear out. You have no
Sorry, the
upfront
kids are
costs.
listening.
You have no upfront costs. Any fee, any brokerage fee that is agreed to would be paid out of your proceeds. So we, as a brokerage, upfront all of those costs, all of those expenses for you as our commitment to you that we will get your home sold on time and at the price that you want.
Are you?
What do you think?
Are you inviting him to dinner? What?
No, I was gonna say, can we
go to
sign?
dinner sometime?
We got a deal.
All right.
Great job, you guys. Thank you. Mark, can you hear us?
Yes,
Good? I think that completes the joint portion of our meeting, unless you have anything else.
No, I think that was great. Thank you, Justin, Troy, and Maureen, and Sam, Amanda, and Mercedes for stepping into the arena. And now for legacy folks, you can expect a text for those who are Zooming to go out in just the next minute. We're going to hop over to Zoom to continue with a few of our kind of specific meeting elements and our dessert auction. So stand by for a quick second, stand and stretch, and we'll go in that direction. Thanks all.
All right, thank you. All right, hold tight. We're going to switch over to the next set. So Diana and Chris.
Oh, I feel like my pocketbook empty.
I can't even read my own writing. I want those drone pictures, right?
Okay. Hi, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Diana Magno. I just wanted to start with KWYP is diving into all things social media this summer. We're doing it on Zoom. It's every other Thursday. The next one is on the 22nd. This event is being powered by KWYP Cleveland. We will be ending the series with an in-person event right at MedCamp. It features some of KWYP's best and brightest social media stars. If you're interested in joining KWYP, it's $39 a month or $399 a year. Coming from someone who just joined this year, I can 100% say that being a part of this has done great things for myself and for my business.
Chris Mascarino, former president of the KWYP Cleveland chapter, actually the regional ambassador now for Michigan, Ohio, and Indiana chapters. So I'm working with those chapters to help build them. But to piggyback off of what Diana just said, there's so many great things KWYP is doing right now. It's an awesome opportunity for young professionals to, if they want to explore leadership opportunities, it's a great way for them to get involved on this level. I know the regions are always building a leadership bench, and this is an awesome way to get on their radar. We also do a lot of great things with charities. We just raised, what, $6,000 for the Alzheimer's Association. We had an awesome event at Topgolf, and we have a lot more fun events planned for the rest of the year. We have a 5K coming up in the fall, and a few other great things. So if you have questions, we're always looking for leaders. We're always looking for people to get involved, and we would love to have you and at least have a conversation.
Yeah, you said it all there.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Great, thank you. Get to the quantum leap slide since he's up here.
So is everybody familiar with what Quantum Leap is? No? Yes? Okay, so. Show. What's it? Yeah. So Quantum Leap is a class that was created by Gary Keller for young adults and even high school students. So essentially, so Joy Larson, myself, and Corinne, thank you, are going to be teaching this class on Saturday, July 31st at our Market Center, correct?
Yes, in
Strongsville.
It's a Saturday.
So it's about a 4 to 6 hour day. And what we want to really, it's really for anybody. We're opening it for anybody, right?
Yeah.
It's targeted for young adults, but we want to welcome everybody to this because I don't think no matter what age you are, you're going to gain something from this class. And just to really explain what it highlights, is an interactive experience designed for the young adults to help attendees accelerate their success through proven models and tools that they can implement right away. So things that you'll learn is who am I and what do I want my life to be about? How will I structure my life to support this vision? What key relationships do I need to support me along the way? And how will I fund my mission so I can make the greatest impact? Gary Keller teaches this class once a year to students 18 to 28. He just did it a couple weeks ago. It's one of the most powerful classes I think that KW offers. So if you have the opportunity to listen to Gary teach it, I would do that. But if you have an opportunity to join us, please join us because you would definitely be impacted by it.
Because it's not just a real estate conversation, it can be someone going into any other profession. It just gets them focused on bigger conversations about designing their perfect life.
Yeah. And a lot about mindset and a lot about what high schools don't teach kids anymore, or at all, rather. So, so spread the word, see how many, I think we're asking for a donation of, there's really no fee, but
I think, is it
$20,
Yeah,
$20 or $25 donation to KW Kids Can to support that charity.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks,
Cool.
Chris.
Yep. Thank you.
Back a few slides, bounce all over the place here, just a couple. So Megan, do you want to come up? Because we're going to introduce some new people. So the first one, there we go.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, hi guys, I'm Megan. I'm gonna be the new Agent Services Coordinator. I just graduated from Ohio State with my bachelor's in psychology, and I'm also working on getting my real estate license. So I'm super happy to learn and meet everyone. So just let me know if there's anything I can do to help you guys out at any time.
She's been awesome so far.
All right, so we'll just take a quick minute and introduce all of our new folks. We have Jonathan Lewis, sponsored by Stacy McVeigh, Tyler Carson, sponsored by Ivana Carson, Callan Bandana, sponsored by Kenneth Woods Moyer, Andy Swoboda, who is in the back here with us today. Hi, Andy. Sponsored by Joy Larson, Sarah Perdue, sponsored by Shane Doak, Alex Restivo, sponsored by Corinne Bozen-Grizel, Antoine Perry, sponsored by Emily Duncan, Tina Roberts, sponsored by Mike Incorvaya Jr., Chris Contra, sponsored by Jennifer Deal, and Dana Roman, sponsored by Jeanette Fitzgerald. Welcome, everyone.
That show went off there a while ago, the nanny. So our June top producers, these are agents that either had 500,000 or more in closed volume or 3 closed units or more. Aaron Boer, Abby Weinbrenner, Allie Quintilli, Amanda Funk, Andy Kleins, Ashley Rizzo, Beth Hedke, Blaze Rosser and Frank Ruma, Bruce Trammell, Candy Howell, Carolyn Martin, Carolyn Pitlick, Cherie Lennertz, Chris and Yatra Mascarino, Christian Trimble, Christine Williams, Corinne Bozen-Grizel, Darlene Ali, Diana Ilievsky and Mara Collins, Diane Westlow, Dominic Picone, Elizabeth Kisner, Erin Chappelle, Janet Jarvis, Jason Hogue, Jeff Zeta, Jen Skavarch, Jenna Hayes, Jennifer Campanella, Jennifer Paul, Jennifer Sterinsky, Jenny Duncan, Jessica Rattray, John Corfage, Joy Larson, Justin Westlow, Kathy Godfrey, Chris Kramer, Kyle Peterson, Laura Dembowski, Lauren Witt, Letitia and Richard Holmes, Lene Lencioni, Lori Schwartz, Maureen Davis, Megan Yee, Michael Smith, Mike and Diana Magno, Mike Incorvaya Jr., Morgan Castor, Nate Fisher, Nick Biersey, Olivia Vasco, Pam Simon, Pam Vogel, Peter Shimada, Rob Quinn from the Impact Group, Roger Nair, Sajid Patel, Sarah Medrick, Stacy Nugent, Stephen and Ann Gates, Sylvia Incorvaya, Tammy Vasquez from the Impact Group, Tammy Collins, Terry Hammond, Tim Vanderlaan, and Troy Bratz. In our cappers, these are folks that have hit their cap and then get to enjoy 100% of commission for the rest of their year. We've got a big group today, this month, Nick Vierzy, Diane Westlow, Kathy Godfrey, Scott and Heather Kraus, Joey Larson, Karen Malik, Chris and Yatra down low, Lori Schwartz, and Jen Scavarge. Again, enjoy your 100% commission. Okay, Infinity, are you with us? I see, is that Tina?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi there, Tina with Infinity. We are so proud of you all. Just wanted to give you an update. We are excited to share with you all that our second quarter distribution is the highest yet per share payout. And it's all due to our Infinity Investors unique share selling process. This actual payout should exceed most distributions any of our partners have ever received in the past. So very exciting. So thank you all. Infinity Title is truly blessed to work with agents like you in the market that continue to maintain the highest standards of service to our real estate community. We're here for you. Your feedback is important. Give us a call.
Thanks, Tina. Gina, are you with us today? America's Preferred.
Don't have anyone
Cross Country had a scheduling conflict today. Dan Hodis, I see you, Dan.
Yes, Dan the insurance man, Hodis is here. Okay, good. For those of you that are aware, Realty Insurance, we represent many different companies. We shop the market around to see who has the best rates. We picked up a new company this past month, the Cincinnati Insurance Company. And this is something that would be good to know for yourselves or your customers, okay? When it comes to basements, and every time it starts pouring rain, I worry so much someone's going to have water in their basement, and I'm going to have to tell them, well, hey, the only way we can cover water in the basement is if it's from back of sewers and drains. But the Cincinnati Insurance Company, whom we picked up, is the only company on the planet that will cover what's called hydrostatic water pressure, meaning they will cover water that comes through walls or foundations of a basement. They're the only company that does right that. So if you customers or yourselves with basements you're concerned about when it comes to water, Cincinnati would be your go-to company. I'd be happy to handle any quotes or whatever for anybody, anywhere, anyhow.
Awesome. That's super helpful. Thanks, Dan.
You're welcome.
All right, we have career night tonight. For those of you that don't know, it's always the night before our team meeting. Today was special because it's on Tuesday, but it's always the Tuesday before. So that will be on Zoom. Next month, we're going to do hybrid. So it'll be in person at the Market Center. We'll probably alternate Strongsville and Medina and do hybrid. But send your people if they just want to get information. It's Jennifer and I that co-host the event. We talk about all things Elevate, all things real estate, and just giving people information to get started. Field Day is next Wednesday. So for those of you that are new to the Market Center, you don't know anybody, this is the best way to get to know people. Fun outside of real estate. So come out. We're going to do it rain or shine. So we've picked a location that has a covering. So even if it's raining, we can still gather inside and do some fun games. So we have it scheduled right now from 12:30 to 4. So we'll be there. You can drop in and out at your convenience, but please come out. Please come out. It's gonna be a blast. We're gonna have fun and give away some cheesy prizes. So, Jose Medina, our OP, you heard him speak earlier. He has sold personally thousands of listings in his career. Last year alone, he himself sold 150 listings. So he knows a thing or two, and listing like a pro, obviously that's where your leverage is going to be, and your time is on the listing side. That's the name of the game, is listings. So he is doing a class Thursday, July 29th from 11:30 to 12:30 on Zoom. Be there. If you missed the one that they did on what to do with buyers right now, that got so much positive response that we have that in our library on the Strongsville training website. Go back and watch that. Anytime you can get a different tone and a different way to approach a problem, you have more tools in your arsenal. So go to his class. High recommend. We heard from Chris already about Quantum Leap and Mega Camp. This year is happening partially in person, but it's such a small, limited group of people that we're going to do another big digital event. And we're going to do something what we're working out the details now. Last year, if you were with us, we did a launch party at the Hickory Ridge Cinema in Brunswick. We're doing that again this year. So it's going to be Tuesday, August 24th. We'll have the food truck again, and you can watch the market of the moment and other important sessions from Gary Keller right in the comfort of a reclining leather movie seat. So more details on that coming up. And then if you want to get early bird pricing, get on the website right now and get your tickets. As far as we know, they're not doing big group tickets like they did last year where everybody was waiting to get a discounted ticket. They're not doing that this year. So log on. That's all we got. Anybody have any questions of anything we went over today? Questions, concern, any objections that you would want handled that you're not sure how to handle? Nothing? All right, thank you so much. We will be back to Wednesday meetings as of next month. So thank you. Hey, how are you? Good.